All right, hey, what's going on YouTube? Welcome back to the channel for another replay analysis here today. And today we're going to be analyzing our boy Defebs. Defebs has been a pretty long time supporter now who's always popping in the stream. Shout out to myself, link down in the description below for the link to our Twitch channel and our Twitch live streams. Make sure to go drop the follow. Check out the other social media while you're down there. TikTok, Instagram, Discord. Join our Discord if you want to be part of our community. And to submit your own replay analysis like this, more details also down in the description below. This is going to be a Champ 3 game in 2v2, queued up with his friend Morbid Flex, who, if you're not new to the channel, you also know the name Morbid Flex. Both of these guys are always supporting me on YouTube and in stream, so I'm really excited to do their analysis here today, really just focusing on Defebs though. So without further ado, let's get into it, see how Defebs does. He's a very good spatial judgment type of player. He's really good at spacing and using his good knowledge of spacing to shadow defend really well, play offense really well. He's a really good 1v1 player. All right, let's go back. I mean, you get demoed, then the goal goes in. That's really, I mean, there's not much you can do here. It's a good play by Cooper. Leaves the ball and demos you. Kind of like a pretty 1v1 type of play. Man probably plays his 1v1s, and it pays off for him. That was a good play. Not much that you personally could have done about that situation. Yep, steal that boost. Press the ball. Well done. Both players out of the game on that 50-50. Good job. Okay, yep. Nothing really to say right now. That was all good. Good attempt on the wave dash landing here. It's really, I can tell you've been really grinding lately, looking a lot better than I've seen in the past from you. And this is like, you know, advanced sort of maneuver to start adding into your gameplay when you want to start playing faster, right? When you single jump into the ball like this, use that second flip that you saved by single jumping to wave dash and gain speed very quickly. So good idea, just messed up the execution, but good to see that you're working on your speed and improving your recoveries, your speed on recoveries and whatnot. Okay, let's see this one more time. Pushing a little too close here, a little too fast, a little too close. Calm down a little bit. You've been playing really well, really. Haven't had much to say so far, which is to be expected. Like I said at the start, you're a really good spatial judgment sort of player. That's what a lot of Rocket League is just spacing properly. And as long as you do that, the rest kind of falls into place. But here, I mean, you can definitely tell you're improving your game speed overall and maybe getting a little too ahead of yourself here. I would have personally probably just grabbed this boost and slowly pushed up from that point, not leaving this midfield too quickly, because in Morbid Flex's position here, the thing that's most likely going to happen, the things are that Morbid's going to push the ball across this way and neither player goes up to the backboard to clear it, and it comes out in this direction, and one of these two players collects the ball. Other option, Morbid does hit it again in the same direction towards the backboard, and one of these players comes up and takes possession or hard clears it. In which case, if they hard clear it, you're back far enough to not be bamboozled. The ball doesn't get over your head, and you're able to easily deal with a hard clear. Or if they take control of the ball, then you can push up a little bit into position where if they fumble the ball, you're there to capitalize, or if they try to bring it down to the ground, you're there to capitalize. Another option is Morbid just gets to this ball and gets 50-50'd in some way. If he wins the 50-50, then kind of the same outcome as the first option, where the other player is either going to collect it or is going to make a mistake, and then you can push up and shoot. Or if Morbid loses the 50-50 and it comes out behind him, and then again, at this position, you're there for it. So pretty much in this position here, you're able to deal with pretty much any outcome and you're not opening any sort of window where the ball gets over you and you have to retreat and get back to the ball. But by pushing up too far, you're not really gaining anything. Pushing up too far too fast into this position here, you're not really gaining anything, and you're only opening the opportunity where the ball can now get behind you over your head, and in the form of a long clear or in the form of a lost 50-50 by morbid flex here. So just pushing up too fast, too quick. Now that's always going to be situational, of course, but in that specific play, there was really no reason that you needed to push up any closer than the midfield yet at that point in time. Yes, nice demo. Would have been really great if you could have got that demo and instantly turned on the ball, right? If you can get this demo and then take possession of the ball, that's the A1 steak sauce play right here. Unfortunately, though, you get the demo and then you don't turn fast enough. Because, right, you see this player here, he turns towards the net. You don't hear him moving forward. You don't hear his engine, right? You probably are not going to be able to hear this in the replay. But, bam, you can hear him, you can hear him, you can hear him. He's not boosting, he's not accelerating forward at this point. You should know off of audio and a little bit of visuals that after you get this demo, you do have time to turn it and grab this ball. If you instantly turned here, right? It was almost not even an awareness mistake. It was almost looked like just a mechanical mistake, a mechanical lack of confidence to make this sharp turn here. But I think you definitely have the ability to get that demo, grab this boost, and kind of at the same time as grabbing the boost, already power sliding around, and then you're facing the ball. And you should have possession of this. Honestly, this should be your ball, not the opponent's here. Just slightly not fast enough to turn on the ball there. And unfortunately, it nets your opponent a goal. So really good play to get the demo, but after the demo, it really should have been your ball. You should have been turning it a lot quicker. Let's see. So I actually think Morbid was right in trying to leave this boost for you, and the reason is if you go for this boost right now, Morbid already has about 30 off of kickoff, right? What does Morbid have in his tank right now? 38, and he's in the midfield. You've got 0 in your tank, and so the only way you can get 100 is to go back to your corner or to grab the mid boost, right? It's a difference of if you grab this mid boost, then you're both starting your play from midfield with 38 boost and 100 boost. Versus Morbid grabs the big boost, Morbid's got 100, and you have to go all the way back to the corner, and now one player's in the midfield on the start of the play and the other's in the back corner. So very small difference, but in this position, if you grab the boost, you're both able to start the play from the midfield at the same time. You've already got sort of a better advantage on the field with your spacing. You're already pushing further into the opponent's half because you're both starting from midfield. But if Morbid grabs this boost, then you have to go back to the corner, and now you don't have quite as good positioning for your offensive push. One player's starting from the midfield, whereas the other one's back in your corner. So I think it's definitely better if you grab this boost, because then you don't have to go all the way back to the corner, and Morbid can stay in the midfield, continuing to pick up pads. And by the time you actually make a play on the ball, he's probably got 50 or 60 boosts instead of 38, honestly. Plus, on top of that, nobody is contesting you. If you pay attention to the kickoff, IMDb Cooper didn't cheat. He went to the opposite corner boost, and Micah flipped off in the opposite direction. So nobody's getting to this boost before you, potentially, so you have the time and space to grab the boost. Now, if it was closer, if the other player on the team did cheat up, or the other person doing the kickoff flipped in the same direction as you and the ball shot out this way, and then it was a race to the boost. If somebody was racing you to the boost, then maybe Morbid would want to take the mid boost because he can beat the challenging player to the boost, and then they kind of have to back off, or they just have a non-threatening play on 0 boost. But you're completely uncontested. You don't have to worry about anybody beating you to the boost. So instead of going back to your corner to get 100 boost, take the mid boost, and then you can start your play from the midfield instead of one person in the midfield, one person in the back corner. That's really not, I don't want to say it's not, but it's not completely something that you can really think about in the middle of that sort of moment. You're not really thinking about all that in your head. It's just after you've done this so many times, you've gone through these situations so many times, you just kind of instinctually will know, okay, this is a time where I should grab the boost. It becomes instincts, it becomes second nature. But for the most part, just to generalize, if the person who did the kickoff is uncontested on grabbing the midfield boost and the ball is towards that boost, let the person who did the kickoff grab the boost. That way they can instantly get 100 boost, fill their boost meter back up, and be on the ball. And the person who cheated up already has enough boost to stay in the play. Versus the person who cheated grabs a boost when they don't need to. It's not like it's a race to the ball or anything, or it's not a race to the boost. And then the other player who did the kickoff has to go back to the corner to get 100 boost. There's the control we know defebs has. There's a beautiful change in direction as well around the first player. Good defense by the other team though. Only thing that maybe could have worked better here, if you're going to go for this dribble play here, which also, just to point out, a dribble play is good here for sure, but also just a hard cut into the ball that sends it towards the ceiling or the backboard would be good here as well. Both these players are in a pretty awkward position to deal with a hard ball towards their backboard or towards the ceiling and their backboard, right? If you just swing into this ball and hit it straight as it meets this point right here, it's either going to bounce up into the ceiling and down, or it's going to hit their backboard. And both these players are positioned pretty badly to be able to deal with that very effectively. Again, especially at Champion 3. At Champion 3, overhead balls, high balls are still pretty awkward for a lot of players to deal with. And so you can take advantage of that, knowing that at this level, high, awkward balls are still pretty effective. But the dribble play is also good. My question now is, how could you have optimized this dribble play to maybe where you could have beat both players here? Any ideas? Any ideas there? Well, the answer, if you weren't able to come up with one yourself, is simply don't flip into this ball as you cut it past this first player. The point of a power slide cut is that you don't have to flip into the ball. You actually just, bam, here, can scoop the ball past the player, right? Get underneath the ball and just drive it off in this direction, in which you get the same outcome. Or if you want to get the ball high in the air like you did, you can also just, as the ball lands down here, meet the ball with the corner of your car, and that will also pop the ball upwards if you do it correctly. Slightly harder to do, but as the ball comes down, just meet the ball on the bounce with the corner of your car, and that'll also send the ball pretty much in the exact same way as when you flipped, but you're still grounded, and then you can instantly go up again. So then, if you did that, either of those two options, bam, you don't flip into this, you just pop it around the first player, you're still on the ground, or you power slide turn into the ball, keeping it on the ground, keeping your car on the ground, and then again, you've still got control of this play. IMDb Cooper goes for the ball, you double jump up into it, pop it over him, or if you kept the ball on the ground, then you flick him, you power slide cut it past him as well. You act like you're going to power slide cut it and you fake it behind him. A lot of different options, just pointing out how you could have kept control of the ball while still cutting it past the first player. And I'm sure you know that. Again, I've seen you play. I've 1v1'd you, and I've seen you 1v1 other players. I know you're very capable of power slide cutting the ball and all that sort of thing. You're really good at direction changes. But for those watching who maybe didn't see that, don't know that that was an option. That is an option, and it's a better, slightly better option to where you can keep the control of the play and actually outplay both players instead of just the first player. Nice. Good wave dash on the landing. Good boost steal into the shadow defending position. Really well done, really well done. Keeping control of this ball. Oh my. Oh, super close, super close. Good try. The only thing that could have made this play better, this is a very, again, 1v1 skill. I know you love your ones. I think you're like a ones main pretty much, honestly. Again, anybody know what I'm going to say here that could have made this play better? Again, thinking of 1v1s, because this is a 1v1. You've got this player in a 1v1, and when you have a player in a 1v1, whether you're playing 2v2 or 3v3, you can literally think of the game now as a 1v1. I mean, yes, you can use your teammates as well, but if you want to, you can always just transition your brain in, okay, it's a one-on-one. I'm literally going to play this if it was a 1v1. And in a real 1v1 game, in this situation, what you would be doing as you catch this ball here is actually coming down and not catching the ball, not starting the ball, right? You meet the ball, let's say here. You don't want to start the ball moving straight towards their net, because that creates no angle for you to make a play, to make an effective offensive play. The hardest thing to defend is when your opponent has you crossed up or has an angle on the ball to where then they can threaten a quick direction change. So what I want to see you do here, what you should have done, is instead of moving the ball, in this direction as it comes down, actually move the ball in an angled direction, move the ball this way as it comes down, and then you are driving behind the ball here if you're this blue line, shadowing behind the ball, and now if Cooper comes and challenges at any point in time, bam, you've got the direction change into an open net. Or he never challenges, you scoop the ball up into a flick. Or you take one bounce on the ball, get it to bounce, boom, you've got a power shot off of a bounce dribble. You're just opening up a lot of different options here by, again, just like in a normal 1v1, instead of taking this ball straight at the net as it comes down, you create that angle and you give yourself so many more options. And not only that, by taking the ball at the angle, you're creating more distance between the defender and yourself, whereas pushing the ball straight towards him, you're closing the distance between you guys a lot quicker, and you're making it a lot easier for him to come and challenge. But still, nonetheless, good try. Really close on getting the flick straight over the top of him. Nice. Good job. See this again. Okay, so you're being a passing option for Morbid, okay. Then he goes for the solo play. I would say as soon as you see this solo play started, you're no longer the passing option. You want to slow down a little bit, maybe even back up. Right, as soon as you're not the solo play, or as soon as you're not the passing option, you don't want to be in front of the play anymore. So as soon as you see Morbid starts the air dribble instead, I'd be hitting the brakes, possibly backing up a little bit and grabbing this pad and facing forward right here. So that way Morbid's coming in front of you, and as he air dribbles forward, then you find yourself behind him in a normal sort of support position when your teammate isn't passing to you. Instead of continuing to drive forward slightly, just slightly too long, I guess you don't recognize it as quick as you should have, right? As soon as you see him pop it for the air dribble, that's when you know you're no longer the pass. He didn't choose to pass to you, he chose the solo play option, so bam, should instantly be hitting the brakes, maybe backing up to that pad, and then staying there, waiting to follow up. I was leading into, had you done that, maybe you could have not had to be backwards for this touch. You know, you don't have to be in this position. In hindsight, this may have still gone over your head, in which case it doesn't make a huge difference, but that point still stands. As soon as your teammate doesn't choose to pass to you, you're not the passing option anymore. You just got to recognize that slightly quicker and then take on that supporting role, that support position role, just like you normally would. Back it up a little bit, get behind your teammate. Nice touch, on target, threatening touch that they have to react to. Good boost steal. Yep, there it is. Try to be a little bit more confident. Try to take the offense to your opponent a little bit here. I know, again, you know, those of you watching, you don't really know what I know, but Defeb is a very good 1v1 player. And I know he's capable of more here than just trying to wait and see what Micah will do, right? In this position here, you get this ball in your hood, and instead of, you know, trying to take the low 50 here, I think you've got the skills to flick it over him. Right, the low 50 is not a bad option, of course. I don't know, that 1v1 play could have just been a little bit better. And I know what you're capable of. Just try to be a little bit more confident in a position like this. Not too much to say about it, though. Nicely done. Well done. You know, when you're good at when you know you're good at 1v1s, especially like for your rank, when you know you're just better than most people at your rank at 1v1s, and you find yourself in a 1v1 position, be confident. Be confident and execute. Do what you do. Ooh, look at them go. Okay, so I was gonna say, I mean, everything about this play just could have been initiating this play could have been slightly quicker, but you know, for Champ 3, this is a 9 out of 10 play for sure. I mean, for Champ 3, it's almost a 10 out of 10 play. In GC2, this play would look more like either taking it back to your corner off of this initial touch. Just, it's fine that you don't. It's fine that you want to make the instant play for your mid boost. It's actually maybe even better. But then this touch would probably be a flip. Flip towards this first touch, flip into this first touch, and then you get the ball going a little bit closer to that boost, right? You notice how the soft touch you made towards the boost gives this player almost enough time to come and challenge you. Versus if you get that initial touch faster towards the boost, and your flip makes your car faster towards the boost, you get to this area with the ball slightly faster, and he probably never even drives to try to close this angle. He probably never even comes and challenges in the first place because he just clearly sees that there's no point. He's hard beat. And I mean, that's better if you can, right? He's coming to challenge you. There's that opportunity that he actually does hit the challenge versus you set yourself up so effectively, so well, he never even comes to challenges in the first place. And then it's just, again, a one-on-one, right? This setup gets a little faster. You've already now got the boost and the ball in this situation right here. Good chance he doesn't even come and challenge at all. And he just starts setting up on defense. And then again, you've got the 1v1 play. And instead of having to chip this ball past him, which it could have been, was almost like a good pass to Morbid, if Morbid could have maybe reacted to it quicker, or this touch could have been slightly softer. Either of the two, Morbid could have shot there. But bottom line is, had you set yourself up just that slightly bit more efficiently, this play would have just been a 1v1 on what's his name? This play could have just been a simple 1v1 on Micah versus a 2v1 with you. You know what I mean? Instead of having to now outplay this second guy, had you set up that 1v1, that's all you would have had to do for this goal, instead of having to outplay two people, which you did end up doing fantastically. Obviously, hindsight, not the best play here. What do you, I'm curious, what in your mind are you trying to go for here? I'm not really sure. Trying to go for a tight angle shot? Trying to flip into this and get it off the backboard? I think the best play here, the most orthodox, the most normal, normal because it's the most effective play in this position, would just be to keep driving up this back wall, in which case, in this position at this angle, you're able to see what's going on down in this direction. Okay, just realized I was not recording the pen this whole time. Those of you watching this after the fact know that I goofed and I wasn't recording the epic pen this whole time. But anyways, picking up where I left off, now not having to go back and edit in the pen and all that crap. Oh, I hate when I do that so much. But instead of going back and re-recording it, I'm going to do some editing magic and try to get the pen back on screen. But anyways, what I was saying was, in this position here, instead of doing whatever you were trying to do, I'm not really sure, the most normal, orthodox, effective play is going to be just to drive around this backboard, get behind this ball, in which case you can see everything that's going on in this area. You can see Morbid, you can see the opponents, and you can try to line up a pass for him. You can try to pass it down straight on his hood. You can maybe just drop the ball down like softly, try to jump down and Goomba stomp someone, which if you don't know what a Goomba stomp is, that's when you just literally like land on their car. It's a bump. It's a fancy term for like a downwards bump on a player, pretty much. Chip the ball down and try to bump someone. You could just maybe chip the ball and quickly rotate back, not really seeing any great options. That's just the more standard, effective play than whatever this was that you were trying to do. I'm not really sure what you were trying to do here. Maybe a tight angle shot, maybe try to get it again as a pass off the backboard. But if you're trying to pass this, then again, the play I just described is going to be a better passing opportunity than trying to just chip it off the backboard where you can't even see if it's going to be an effective play or not because you don't have the angle to see anything. I think that was a shot attempt, looking at that a little bit more. Again, you're in a 1v1 here. In a normal 1v1, would you be taking this challenge? I don't think so. I think you're a little bit smarter than that. The thing that's bad about this challenge is that you're very side on, right? And the reason that's bad is because if your opponent, even if they have ball cam on or off, they can completely see you coming in this angle. They have complete vision of you on your entire approach as they're moving forward with this ball. They can see you coming the entire time, and they can instantly decide to shoot it past you whenever they want because they can just see you coming. So in this position here, unless like they completely are not close enough to the ball, to challenge or to hit it past you, you don't want to go for a ball in this position. Instead, you should have just drove up, fake challenged. Hopefully he gives away the ball in that fake challenge and then you get the ball for free. But if not, then just like a typical 1v1, you're in a shadow defense position. Maybe you, and again, what makes this effective is after the shadow or after the fake challenge, right? You've closed the distance, you get into this position to fake challenge. He hopefully gives away the ball, in which case you just come out and clear it to your corner or dribble it to your corner, depending on how good of a touch he had. But the beauty of this is then is, and just like in a normal 1v1, bonus tip for you guys who maybe are trying to improve your 1v1 game, is the beauty of this position is you're able to hide behind the ball, right? If you are in this position directly between the ball and your net, this person loses track of you. As soon as you're behind this ball, they can't see you. And so they don't know when you're about to challenge most of the time. And it makes throwing in a quick challenge a lot more effective. Or shadow defending a lot more effective because they don't know if you're there. So they might flick earlier than they have to and give away the ball and make it an easy save for you. Or after you turn on your fake challenge, they can't see you at this point in time. Bam, you hit the brakes, do a cheeky little half flip and reverse challenge into the ball that they were not expecting you to do because they couldn't see you. All they could see was the ball. So bam, you're behind the ball and either you continue shadow defending or bam, you hit the brakes, do a little reverse challenge. That probably works. Point being though, again, recognize when it's very common in twos for a 2v2 game to become a 1v1 game. A lot of 1v1 opportunities in 2v2, and as soon as you see that happen, you want to play it out like it's a 1v1. Turn on those 1v1 skills, turn on that 1v1 brain, and treat it like a 1v1. In a real 1v1, you wouldn't be challenging this ball. Alright, let's keep going. Nice. Good try. Oh. Running out of time. Trying to go for the ball because you're almost out of time. Unfortunately, can't get the touch. That's it. So overall, I think the okay, we're keeping the ball up for a while. All right. Okay, let's keep watching. All right. So overall, I think definitely the first thing that comes to mind is in 2v2, it's again super common for a 2v2 game to turn into to have a lot of 1v1 situations come up, and you particularly, I know, are very skilled and very knowledgeable in 1v1s. So when those 2v2 games turn into 1v1 opportunities, turn on the 1v1 brain. If you don't play 1v1s, this is exactly why you should play 1v1s, because it really helps in scoring 1v1 opportunities and defending against 1v1 situations. And we saw multiple times how you had a lot of offensive 1v1 opportunities that weren't quite played out as well as they could have been. Treat those 1v1 opportunities as like you would in an actual 1v1 game. And same thing on defense. When you find yourself in a 1v1, treat it like it's a 1v1. You wouldn't have dove at that ball, most likely. I don't think you would, or if you would have in a real 1v1 game, that's not a ball you probably should be diving for. But play out your defense just like it's a normal 1v1. Fake challenge into the shadow defend, into hiding behind the ball, into then reverse challenging or continuing the shadow until they hopefully give up the ball for a flick. for a weak flick, for an early flick. What else? Your pads, your boost management, all that was really good. Spacing and positioning for the most part was really good. One time we pointed out where if you're positioning to be a passing opportunity and your teammate decides not to utilize you as a pass, that's fine. They have that opportunity, they have that right. Sometimes they should, but if they don't, it's okay. Then you have to just take up your positioning as if, you know, reset into a normal sort of support positioning where you're slightly behind your opponent instead of in front of your opponent or your teammate, sorry. And then other than that, I mean, it's pretty niche little special situations where I'm just pointing out how certain plays could be better optimized. Champ 3, definitely more of a grounded control type of player, which is good. It's a very, how do I say it? Lost skill nowadays. Most people are focused on the aerial game, and you can learn the aerial game later on, right? But in these early ranks, good ground control is something most players don't have, and if you have it, you're kind of gonna murk a lot of people with just really good ground control. You can kind of control the game and just decimate your opponents, cut them up, slice them up, dice them up. And you know, it's a lot harder to take yourself out of the play and leave your teammate in a 2v1 opportunity or a 2v1 situation when you're playing grounded versus you mess up an aerial play and then you're out of the play with low boost while your teammate is in a 2v1. So I really like the ground play. I'm more of a ground player myself. You will eventually, and you should eventually, definitely start working on aerial mechanics. Me personally, I really hit GC2 for the longest time with really only a ground focused game, and in GC2 I sort of at one point took like a month where I was really focused on improving my aerial mechanics, and it's definitely made me a better overall player completely 100%. But you can definitely hit GC2 in 2s and 3s, maybe not 1v1s, but in 2v3 at 2s and 3s with just a really strong ground game for sure. But that's it. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like on the video. Show me that you enjoyed it. Leave a comment down below on something that you learned, something that you liked about the video, maybe something that you want to see in a future video. For sure, let me know. Subscribe if you haven't done that yet, because I've got like 180 videos on the channel at this point, something like that, of primarily educational focused Rocket League videos that will improve your gameplay if you watch them. Don't expect anyone to watch all 180, but yeah, all the videos on this channel, most of them are gonna help you improve. And that's the point of this channel, is to make content that makes you guys better at the game. So that way when you climb up to my rank and you're on my team, I don't have to worry about having trash can teammates. But that's gonna be it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.